You're listening to The Big Iron Buzz.
Welcome to our latest episode of the Big Iron Buzz, where each week we'll bring to you the latest news and trends in the ag, real estate, and used equipment markets. This podcast is brought to you by Big Iron Auctions and Big Iron Realty, rural America's premier online unreserved auction site, bringing you rural connections, respected values, and real deals. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Smith, and I'm the host of the Big Iron Buzz. My guests today are District Managers Zach Whitfeld, Joe Booth, and Ryan Harbour. We've got a treat in store for you today. Not only will we be talking about some of the great agricultural items for sale on our site on May 5th, but we also have a classic car auction on May 6th that you won't want to miss. Our first guest today is Illinois District Manager Zach Whitfeld. Zach, why don't you start out by telling us about yourself?
Well, I'm the Central Illinois District Manager out here in D38. I cover the main central part of Illinois. Auction background and ag background, and just love what I do.
Now, Zach, has planning started in your area yet?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, the Illinois Ag Report came out this morning, and we're overachievers here in this state. We're at 18% of our soybeans already being planted. And, after that cold week we had last week, the planters are all back out and rolling in this 70-degree weather we're having today.
Now, you've got a great sale coming up next week for Cannon Farms out of Mount Pulaski, Illinois. Tell us what you have here.
Well, what we have is all one-owner green equipment. The big highlight on that auction is a 2008 John Deere 8330. That tractor only has 889 hours on it. And again, being a one owner, it was always shed kept, one of those clean, sharp Central Illinois tractors, as we like to brag about. The next tractor is a 2003 John Deere 8320. That tractor only has 1,945 hours on it. Again, one owner, always maintained by the local John Deere dealer. We do have the repair records from 2003 to 2015. The most current repairs have been done on that tractor. And then switching over to the combine, we got a 2001 John Deere 9650 STS. And that machine has been in the shop since 2001. We have the records all the way to 2021 on that machine. So some clean, low-hour green equipment. And then switching over to the grain side, we got a 2002 International 7400 tandem grain truck with an aluminum bed on it. And that truck was put together by Jennings here in Central Illinois, and they do a great job when they make those trucks.
Thanks, Zach. Our next guest today is District Manager Joe Booth. Joe, you're no stranger to this show, but can you introduce yourself for our new listeners?
Well, sure, Ryan. As you mentioned, I'm the district manager for what we call District 42. That represents most of East River in South Dakota, and those of us that are South Dakotans know what that means. It's everything east of the Missouri. We have about 10 guys, 12 guys that circle around here on the eastern half of the state, and we're just ready and waiting to serve all the farmers and construction folks and transportation folks that we can right here in South Dakota.
Joe, what's top of the mind with South Dakota farmers right now?
Well, Ryan, I think the top of the mind of everyone in South Dakota and across the country right now is grain prices. You're seeing record grain prices, corn prices you haven't seen for 8 years, top bean prices, wheat prices. Really all the grains are just are performing so well, and the prices are so high that I think there's a tremendous amount of optimism in the farming community. And I think that everyone's looking forward to having a great year. Of course, what that means, if you've got the money and opportunity, is finding upgraded equipment, more great equipment, and once you get that great equipment, selling the equipment that you have. And so it's a great time to be with the greatest auction company in the business, Big Iron Auctions.
Now, Joe, you've got some great sales coming up in your area next week. Tell us what you have.
Yeah, Ryan, we've got a couple of big sales coming up week of the 5th, Wednesday, May 5th, and Thursday, May 6th. On the 5th, we've got our regular equipment auction, which has several showcase type customers, especially here in South Dakota. And then on the 6th, we've got a great classic car auction. But I've got to talk about in South Dakota, from Highmore, South Dakota, the Mike and Carl Ashdown estate sale. We've got 85 items for sale, all in great shape. Get out and take a look at them. We're going to have an open house this Saturday, May the 1st, which will give you a chance to take a look at this equipment just to see how great a shape it's in. It includes a 2017 JF 569 Mega Wide Plus 5x6 round baler, a 2011 Timpte grain trailer with electric tarp, a 2013 Wilson Ranch Hand livestock trailer, a J&M 750 14 grain cart, a 2015 Case 521 FXR wheel loader with 2.5 yard bucket and grapple, a 2008 Case IH 1200 12R30 planter, a 2011 MacDon 35-foot flex draper header, and a 36-foot horsed welding header trailer to go with it. A 2008 Case IH Steiger 380 four-wheel drive tractor, a 2007 Freightliner Columbia 120 truck tractor, a 2002 Freightliner Columbia 120 truck tractor, a 1994 Case IH 7220 tractor, and a 1993 Case IH 8920 mechanical front-wheel drive tractor.
What else catches your eye on next week's auction?
Yeah, Ryan, we've got David Holter and Bruce with a 1976 John Deere 8430 four-wheel drive tractor with 7526 hours shown. From General Fleet Services in Sioux Falls, we've got two 2014 Metit Quickveyor tender trailers with self-contained power units. From Glenn Krogstedt in Colton, we've got John Deere 7200 12R unfolding vacuum planter with ray markers and a John Deere 1445 60-inch front-mounted mower. And then from Landon Lee in DeSmet, we got a Case IH 1200 8RN planter with pivot tongue and a Case IH 8480 round baler with twin tie.
We've also got our classic car auction on May 6th. What are the hottest vehicles for sale out of South Dakota next week?
Yeah, Ryan, well, we've got that classic car auction coming up next week on Thursday, and you're not going to want to miss that either if you're a lover of cars or just to take a look at all of the inventory we've got on there. It's the first of its kind that we've had at BigIron for a classic car focused auction, but I'm sure it won't be the last with the incredible, beautiful classic cars we've gotten from all over the country. But here in South Dakota, we've got some real incredible vehicles. Tony Furman from Flandreau has a Cherry 1950 Chevy 3100 pickup. It's also got a story attached that's written by one of the owners that everybody will enjoy, worth taking a read. Cindy Swear from Hartford has a 1925 Ford Model T pickup for sale. This has a Ford 2.9-liter gas water-cooled engine. Suzanne Smith from Brentford has a Cherry 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. That's right, the classic. It's got the 6.6-liter, 8-cylinder, 185-horsepower engine with 34,518 miles showing. This model has the classic T-tops and chrome exhaust. Just a beautiful car for those of us that grew up in the 70s, and that's including me. And maybe the hottest of all the cars that we've have is from our own sales rep, Brian Baus in Pierre. His 1970 Oldsmobile 442 with build sheet. It's got 10,552 miles showing, 365 horsepower, dual exhaust with a rear deck spoiler. Just a phenomenal car.
Thanks, Joe. That's a nice segue to our next guest, who's District Manager Ryan Harbour. Ryan, welcome to the show. Let's start out with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, you bet, Ryan. So my name's Ryan Harbour. I'm the manager for District 40 here in central Nebraska, north central Kansas, and south central South Dakota. And I've been with BigIron for just about 4 years now.
Now, Ryan, I know you've been working for several months on the Chevyland USA estate auction in Elm Creek, Nebraska. Before we start talking about the equipment for sale here, what can you tell us about the seller?
Yeah, so Chevyland USA has just been a tremendous opportunity for BigIron. We've had a great time working with Al. Monty Hollert's his son. Monty was the owner of Chevyland, and Monty was a farmer from down in Harlan County, Nebraska. And along in the early 70s, around 1974, he opened Chevyland, his Chevyland Museum in the Elm Creek area. And so he actually began his interest in cars, actually came from racing cars. He used to race cars. And over time, as he raced cars, he would see these cars being cut down and turned into race cars. And he kind of thought it'd be fun to save some of these cars. And so that's what kind of spurred his interest in the collector car hobby. And so he built quite a collection over the years, and had traded several cars in and out of the museum over the years as well. And so, the items that we're going to sell are located in Elm Creek at the museum. So we're right along the interstate there at Elm Creek. And, we had a lot of items. A lot of cars are selling, a lot of motorcycles selling, and a lot of Chevy dealer memorabilia and new old stock parts that are selling as well. We've actually got 554 items or lots on that sale. So a tremendous collection of Chevrolet memorabilia and vehicles there.
What's been the early reaction on this sale?
The early reaction was tremendous. As soon as the word was out that we were conducting the Chevy Land USA auction, our phones started ringing off the hook. And we have we've taken calls from all across this country. Unbelievable amounts of interest from car collectors. A lot of people that just like the story of Monty and his collection. And, there's just been a lot of people that we've talked to, like I said, across the country, but not only that, a lot of international interest as well. I mean, we've taken calls from Canada. We've taken calls as far away as Australia. And so pretty exciting.
Now, Ryan, can you tell us about the hot items on this sale?
Absolutely. So, like I said, there is about 554 items selling on this auction. Of those 554 items, there are a few standouts. There is a 1969 Chevrolet Stingray Corvette convertible, and that car has less than 7,000 original miles. And so, it's a great car. We expect big things out of that one. The other thing too is a 1958 Chevrolet Impala. It's a two-door hardtop. It's a tri-power or a triple deuce, which is kind of a hard thing to come by. And there again, that car is a super low mileage car with less than 15,000 original miles on that car. We've got some touring cars from the teens and the 20s, the 19 teens and the 1920s. Those include a 1915 Chevrolet Baby Grand Touring H4. That car is an amazing little car to look at. And then also one of the things that's really very interesting with this sale is we have a 1965 Chevy Impala that was used as a getaway car in a 1965 Big Springs, Nebraska bank robbery. And so, we've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people that are interested in the story behind that car. And so we're excited to see if the car sells because of what it is or because of the story that's attached to it. But the interesting part about that car, Ryan, is there's actually a lot of additional memorabilia with that car, including a copy of the rental receipt that the bank robber filled out whenever he rented the car in Kansas to drive to Nebraska to rob the bank. And so there's just some incredible things that Monty has collected to go along with that car. And that's a pretty exciting one that we'll want to keep an eye on as well.
I understand BigIron is also selling Chevy Land's land as well immediately following the car auction.
Yeah, that's right. The land will be sold immediately following the car auction on Thursday, May 6th. And so once the car auction closes, we will begin the auction on two separate tracts of land. One tract of land would be the actual tract of land that the museum sits on here at Elm Creek. That tract is actually 5.9 acres of Interstate 80 frontage, and it's right off the Interstate or the I-80 exit here at Elm Creek. This tract includes the building with 19,500 square feet of total space. It does have an interior office and restrooms. There are overhead garage doors, concrete floors, and heating and water are available there as well. The second tract is actually a tract that the family owns down in Harlan County. That's actually a 78-acre tract, again, in Harlan County. It's a nice combination farm that offers 38.25 acres of dry land, and the balance of that would be native pasture. So it does have really good county road access, and it does have really good hunting potential as well.
Now, Ryan, if folks wanted to come out and take a look at this lineup in person, how can they do so?
You bet. So equipment inspection days for the Chevy Land auction will be April 29th through May 6th. Actually, we did conduct our first day of open house yesterday and just had a tremendous group of people show up on the very first day, people from Texas, Iowa, South Dakota, Kansas. And so we've had a lot of people coming in already. Again, it's going to be through the open house will run through May 6th, which is the auction date. And it's going to be open from 10 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. every day through the auction day. And so, we encourage people to stop by, look at the vehicles, look at the motorcycle, everything we have there, just to take a look. It gives them a great opportunity to talk to Al, the seller's son, or the Monty's son. He'll be there, and he can tell you anything and everything you want to know about these vehicles. And so, again, that's April 29th through May 6th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and it is at the museum, which is right along I-80 at the Elm Creek Interchange.
That's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guests Zach Whitfeld, Joe Booth, and Ryan Harbour, and remind everyone that the equipment mentioned on today's show can be found on the May 5th and 6th auctions on BigIron.com. For the Big Iron Buzz, I'm Ryan Smith. We'll catch you here next week.